Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Got another one for you. A lot of things been going on out there in the universe, especially still in America. Craziness, civil unrest. People are like all over the place. People are talking a lot against the government, but we know that the notorious agency, the ICE, been villainized for the last couple of weeks, if not the last couple of months. ICE, right? It doesn't look good. The Customs Enforcement Agency doesn't look good for them because they were allowed to wear masks, and now they're trying to force them to not wear no mask. uh, Now they want to put the body cams on them, right? The body cams, which will see everything. In a way, it will protect them also. So now the ICE organization, which Donald Trump has made notoriously hated, like everybody hates them, even the cartels hate them. Well, Donald Trump basically is using them as his private police, if you want to say. He's like making them go everywhere in the country, which that's their job. But recently, right, the recent news on the ICE, which is villainized in social media, and especially Minnesota, and I know California, they're villainized for deporting undocumented people. So this is the recent update. Body cameras being immediately issued to the ICE agents in Minneapolis. So they're getting it right now because you see that last death what happened, and I was talking about it on my other episode. The last death. This is why this is happening. I feel Homeland Security says program will be extended nationwide as funding is available. So now they got to fund. There's more money going into ICE, right? So they're gonna have these body cameras on, which is supposed to help everybody. But you know what? Now, because if they're not going to be able to wear no mask, this is protecting them, should be protecting them because they can't wear a mask anymore. Maybe that might not be fully true. They can't wear a mask and they're going to have a body cam. So their job is going to be even more dangerous, but they're saying there's funding there, right? But the ICE is already villainized all through America. Doesn't even help. This is crazy. So a lot of people don't like the ICE. We understand that people are seeing a lot of things going on social media involving the ICE, right? So it says U.S. federal agents conduct immigration enforcement operations in Minneapolis neighborhood Monday. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says all federal agents in the city will immediately be issued body cameras following the fatal shooting of two people. So now they're gonna have body cameras now. Because of those two shootings, I knew it would happen. What up, Lucky? I knew it would happen. Two people got shot, and be honest, it was Caucasians this time. So now that's going up. Let me read this. Every Homeland Security officer deployed in Minneapolis, including immigration and custom enforcement officers, will be immediately issued body cameras secretly, Kristi Newham said Monday. So, yo, ICE job's gonna get even harder. It's gonna get worse, their job. So I don't know if they're gonna take it out on people, but it's gonna get more worse. Guaranteed. Their job is gonna get more worse if they have to show their faces. Right? So it says custom enforcement officers will be immediately issued body cameras. So they're putting the cameras on them. But it's really to kind of protect them too. Because now when the cases are coming up about them maybe shooting somebody, they could see why they might had to shoot them. So if you are ICE and you are claiming that you're doing your job the proper way, you're not going to care about wearing the camera. So they want this nationwide funding because they're flooding the streets. I was telling you guys, more ICE. They're gonna be not just going after undocumented people. American citizens will be hurt by this too. Anybody. This is a new wave of style of private police by the president, right? Trump is putting this out, right? So it says, Noam made the announcement on social media platform X saying the body camera program will be expanded nationwide as funding becomes available. They need that funding because Trump's going to other cities. It's not just Minneapolis. I don't know what other city he's going to next. We have to remember they kind of quiet it down. You see how they quiet it down for a while? Don't be fooled with these Epstein files. They got you guys all in this illusion. They're playing both sides with the Epstein files, but they're doing all of this shit with the ICE. Remember, they changed the head of ICE. I'm hearing. I don't know if that was fact or he just went to another city to start up another operation. That's how they're gonna move slick now, and they're gonna have even informers, people who are not wearing the uniform. Those will be the people who inform on the illegal people who are in the country. So ICE is just getting bigger and bigger. So when people are thinking it's just the street, no, it's not just going to be the street. So they're putting cameras on them to see who's going to be throwing rocks at them, spitting at them. That's why they're shooting and doing certain things. They want to see everything what's going on as there's more recruits more than ever. Some are not trained as good. Some may be trained. Yeah, ice baby, you're saying ice baby. Well, they're going to other cities. Trump is in for a while. Remember, he has 3 more years, right? So guaranteed he's planning other cities. Remember, California, it happened there. It quieted down. Realize that. It was in California, right? They're taking a lot of the Mexicans and people from South America. They were deporting them a lot. That was a big thing. It's quite down. All the families, people are saying he's taking apart Donald Trump. Remember that? It's quiet now. So Minneapolis now with the fraud stuff and all these deportees, what they want to deport back to Somalia, now that kind of quiet down. If you kind of just check it, it's kind of quiet. No one's talking about the Somalians as much anymore. But they're talking about the fraud, and on top of this, they want to expand the ICE program, which has always been around. ICE is coming to everyone's city. I hope a lot of you Americans know it's coming to everybody's city more than ever. It's already been there, but now they're going to invest in them. The other day, I don't know, I saw on social media a lady, she went to a Jamaican restaurant somewhere in America, and the lady was not courteous, right? She felt that she was getting disrespected. This woman checked her out and got the lady who ran the restaurant deported, right? So this is what's going on. Tripping good. You say good, ice, more good. But with the body cams, what do you think about the body cams, people? What do you think about the body cams? Do you think that's a good thing? I think it could be good because now both sides they'll see. Both sides they'll see the last death. Remember, they're not talking about that anymore. The last death in Minneapolis, right? The guy who had the gun. You notice they're not talking about that really too much. It's the Epstein files. Even Joe Rogan was saying that they're using the ICE to distract from the Epstein files. But it's reverse psychology. They really want to distract what's going on with the ICE in all of America, right? Thank you, ICE, for getting morons off the planet. Well, they still have a big job. I'm hearing that Obama deported they're saying almost 3 million. He actually deported a lot of people. But Trump now wants to break that record. Donald Trump definitely wants to break that record and deport more people. If it's up to him, he could deport like the whole population of illegals, right? So yeah, if you want to boycott ICE for a couple bodies, you have to boycott migrants from many more. Yeah, yeah. There's bad apples in all groups. You're right. You're right. Or yep, you're right. There's bad apples in all groups. But they're going after everybody. As long as Trump's in, this is his mission. So Minneapolis, he was talking about, then he brought up some other names. He starts saying, oh, there's worse. you're saying other places. So he's going to a state near you. He's going to a state near you, and he's going to find out who's the ones who's frauding the money. Because check this, it could be, it doesn't have to be a migrant or anyone. They're going to find American citizens involved in doing some type of fraud shit. Because, right, the ICE is for not just immigrants, right? I think the ICE is for like trafficking, sex trafficking, um, a whole bunch. I think even drugs too they have in there too. They do a lot of stuff, but they're getting money. They're gonna get more money. People are saying ice, ice babies. A lot of people support it. Okay. Minneapolis has been the site of intense scrutiny over the conduct of ICE agents after the fatal shooting of two Americans. Critics have called for Homeland Security to require all the department officers responsible for immigration enforcement to wear body cams. So now they want the body cams, right? They want the body cams. They're enforcing it, but will they enforce them to take off their mask? Are they going to say take off your mask? Because if you work for ICE, you got to take off your mask. Is that fair? Now they're villainized. People don't like the ICE, so now you're going to have to show your face. I wonder if that's going to really go through. Like, are they going to have to show their face? Well, he's saying that would be a dangerous thing because they're saying cartels have bounties. I don't know if that's true. The cartels are angry at ICE. So if these guys start showing their face, it's a dangerous job. It's a different time now. Like they're not they're the bad guys that Trump put out. They're the real bad guys in America, right? You got people talking at award shows about America's freedom. You got people like Nicki Minaj taking sides with Donald Trump and all types of craziness going on right now. And the ICE is their doing their job. But the two deaths, what happened? They want to be quiet about it, right? They're trying to be quiet about it, and you're hearing about the Epstein files. That's why you're hearing about all these files now, and Trump's actually talking, saying, "Hey, he didn't like Epstein, and he's not a part of Epstein." That's what he's saying. Trump is trying to cut himself away from the whole thing, even though a lot of people is accusing Trump of working or being with Epstein doing certain types of things, allegedly, right? If those cartels actually start picking off ICE, they're going to bite off something they can't handle. That'll be interesting if that was to happen. I don't know if the cartels actually start picking off ICE. That's the thing, the cameras are really to help the ICE, I think, really, because now you're hearing like anybody who goes for them is going to be recorded. So if the cartels are really after the ICE, right? Because I'm saying it will change, the whole game will change if an ICE agent got shot. The whole game will change if an ICE agent died. We'll be talking about something else, right? So now they have the cameras. They have the cameras for you, the cameras, so they won't the evidence will be there. And the only reason they have these cameras is because the last two people who got shot, no one expected this young or middle-aged Caucasian man with a gun, right, to be shot in Minneapolis, right? This guy who's a nurse or something like that, and he got shot. So the family's probably fighting, they want answers and all types of stuff. A lot of stuff are going behind the scene. So that's why you don't hear the media. They're talking, but it's limited talking about it. Trust me. Right now, they're talking about Epstein files. You got to check it. Even with Trump, it's flooded the internet, the Epstein files. Meanwhile, the ICE are just getting stronger, getting funding, and they're going out more places. So for the next 3 years, you have to look on this. For the next 3 years, Trump is marking out places where he wants to filter and take people out of the country. Minnesota, right? Minneapolis, right? And Mexico, he already went to Mexico, right? They already done Mexico. I shouldn't say Mexico, I mean California. They took a lot of Mexicans from California, South Americans from California area, West Coast, and deported a lot of them. Deported a whole bunch of them. And he was showing that on the internet, Donald Trump. So the ICE, prove your bullshit. They have deported people. There's proof right there. What you they said they're funding people. What are you saying, Marco Anderson? What are you saying? There's proof out there. They're not talking about it. They're not talking about it too much. Minneapolis, the fraud. Remember, there's a big fraud. Billions of dollars been stolen in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Billions of dollars have been stolen. And are people talking about it? Are they making it quiet right now? Right? Are people talking about it? No, they're not talking about it too much. There's two deaths. What happened, right? By the ICE agents. Two things what happened by the ICE agents. And it was killing two Caucasian people. That's why it brought the biggest attention. These are sensitive times, people. Real sensitive times, right? Real sensitive times. Check it out. Listen, sweet, it's time for America to act like the rest of the world and stop virtue signaling. We're not better than anyone else. Oh, shit. What are your thoughts about ICE? Well, ICE is getting funding. ICE is going to expand all over America more than ever. A lot of people are not trained properly. There's a lot of people who are not trained, and they're going to be taking out people and more court cases, right? More court cases. More court cases you're going to hear about in the future. The ones what happened recently, you're not hearing about right now. The one with the good, that lady good, and the other gentleman who passed away a couple of days ago, you're not hearing about anything about them. Epstein files. That's what you're gonna hear about. You're gonna hear about the Epstein files. Even Trump is talking about Epstein files. Like I said, Joe Rogan been saying that they've been using that as a distraction, right? Using the ICE as a distraction from the Epstein files. But it's reverse psychology. So Joe Rogan's theory is they're using the ICE to distract from the Epstein files because the Epstein files have a lot of important people on there, very important, maybe even Donald Trump, right? Hint, hint, right? But there's no proof of that because Donald Trump made sure that he wasn't in anything. He said he never liked Epstein, right? He never liked Epstein. He has nothing to do with it. So people are saying this is the distraction, the ICE stuff. I don't think so. Billions of dollars were stolen in that state, whatever, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he's been deporting, or ICE has been deporting probably hundreds of people. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Hundreds of thousands of pages have been released, maybe even millions. Yes, 2 million. You're right. Nope. Nope. And you're right, Nope. And yeah. So, yeah, over 2 million documents. They said 2 million documents and a couple thousand, well, they say was released out of the 2 million, right? You're hearing about all types of stuff recently now. You're hearing all types of stuff come out, like with the Epstein shit. But like I'm saying, no one's talking about what the ICE is doing. You have to go look, and they're getting more investment coming to them. They're getting more money from the government. These guys are taking away Americans' freedoms. That's what it is. They're going to be taking away your freedom, like the digital ID. You're gonna when you go on the street, they're gonna be looking at you, asking you for your ID in the future more than ever. Mainline deportation. We should build some sort of industrial, large scale Trebek. Listen, this is going to be affecting American society. This is just an excuse for the digital ID. Once they start to filter out more people, this ID will be come in place more. I don't know if Americans are going to fight it like a revolution, like England, UK. They were forcing it on them, and they revolted in the streets, like what's going on in America right now with the ICE. They revolted against the digital ID, and they stopped it, and they said it's optional in the UK. They said it's optional, and they don't have to do it, but they were trying to force it. So they're going to try to do something similar like that in America. And the way how they're I think they're doing it right now is with the app. They're doing it with the app to try it out. They're testing people. They're doing it with the TikTok. That's what they're doing it with. The TikTok, like I said over and over, has 200 million users on it. Even though some people are dropping out, they're not using the app anymore, but it still had 100 over 200 million American users on there, right? So that app now has an update that you got to give up all your information, your entire identity. So they have a good population of Americans now where they know even things more about if you subscribe to that platform, or if you need to use that platform, or you want to use that platform, they are going to know more about you. So the ICE definitely is going to be using this too to track people, right? If you heard Vance, what, about a month ago, the vice president was saying, they're asking him how's the ICE gonna capture people? Besides recruiting or in the street, they're gonna use internet technology, right? Internet technology. That's what they're gonna be doing, and that means they're gonna trace you through an app, and that app is TikTok because it's so popular. You have to wonder why he was fighting for it so much, Donald Trump. So the ICE now, if you're walking about as time goes by, especially in these next 2 years before he's finished being a president, right? Guarantee it's going to be the norm. When you travel, you'll see some type of soldier on the street. You're going to see some type of soldiers or people like ICE on the street more than ever, because this is Donald Trump's program. This is the program, right? This is the program to take people out who he doesn't like. He said he doesn't like the Somalis, right? He already said he doesn't like the Somalis. That was in Minnesota. So whoever he doesn't like, he's gonna take them out. And he got the ICE. He even got the ICE to arrest the celebrity the other day, a journalist, right? Don Lemon was arrested because of the ICE situation. And guess who spotlight that? Donald Trump and Nicki Minaj, right? Donald Trump's a big celebrity and he's the president. And he spotlighted Don Lemon. And Don Lemon got the police going to his house, arresting him. The ICE, the ICE went after the guy who's a celebrity who talked about Donald Trump before and has beef with Donald Trump. You see that? So the ICE will go after anybody. They're going to be going at workplaces. They're going to be going. They said the Super Bowl. No, they're not going to be there. But the ICE is going to be undercover. They probably have undercover ICE too. Those individuals are more deadly. Those are the individuals you got are more scary. The undercover ones. So they're going to probably place the ICE agents. Remember, listen to the name, agents in areas to probably even stay for a couple months or whatever, a couple weeks, right? Do their investigation. It could be an Airbnb. You don't see them with no uniform, but when they are ready to get a whole bunch of people who are illegal, right? They're going to be getting them. But it's going to even affect the normal American citizen who's walking down the street, right? If you're walking down the street, they will stop you. And if they ask you for your ID, if you don't show them the ID, the ICE might take you too. That's what's going on. There's recent news out there of the ICE, right? Doing this. Let me see if you could see it. Doing this shit. See? And look what's happening. Lawsuits are coming. Big time. ICE agents demand papers from black man. He's a police captain. He wins 124 million in lawsuit. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's real news nowadays, fake news, because a lot of shit is out there. But they're saying that if this is true, ICE is gonna get themselves in trouble too, because you tried to arrest or whatever a captain, a black police American captain, the ICE. Remember, and now he has a lawsuit over $100 million, over $100 million. Now he don't have to be a police captain anymore. It doesn't have to be a police captain. But this is what the ICE is doing. They'll go for anybody. They even went for a police captain. Imagine that, right? Let's look. Police captain. That's crazy. That's crazy. ICE is going everywhere. They don't care. So this is America right now. America is going through a lot of stuff, more than ever, more than ever, because you got Donald Trump that has the ICE out there, and he's going to war with everybody, or he wants to war with everybody with the tariffs, right? So these tariffs that Donald Trump's putting out is to fight against the whole world because he just wants to fight. Same thing with the ICE now. So now people's freedoms, it's no freedom. It was really never no freedom, but now you have no freedom, because if you walk on the street and someone stops you like ICE and you don't give them the info, they'll just take you. This is the new style, or this is going to be the norm. This is what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to make this the norm. Like I said, the man is coming back with a vengeance, right? He's coming back with a vengeance. He had one term and he lost, and now he's back and has 3 years. Why are you talking about things you have no knowledge of? Who are you, popular reject? Look what you call yourself. You're a reject. Now, I'm going to shut you up because I know what I'm talking about. The ICE, right, is going to be coming for everybody, even you. So you better be legal, right? Right? Even you. I'm not reporting nothing. This is real. This is real what's going on. Donald Trump has the ICE going out to different cities, and he's going to have them lock people up, even Americans. It's 2 Americans who got shot recently. It's not no undocumented citizens. It's not no Mexican, right? It's not no person from Africa, right? It's Americans. 2 Americans got killed. So that's just a preview, right? Yes, that's just a preview. Put user in timeout. That's just a preview, right? Wants to be famous. That's just a preview. More is to come. More is to come. The ICE is just getting more money. They just said it now. Body cams. So the body cams is to protect not just the people on the street. It's to protect the ICE. But if you're ICE now, you want these body cams. Why wouldn't you want these body cams? Right? Now they're going to invest in you. So if you're not doing anything wrong and the other people are doing something wrong, it's going to be them who look guilty. So if you are a law abiding citizen, right? You don't have to worry about this. But and if you're ICE who goes, you're supposed to do your job right, right? The cams won't bother you. It's protecting you because if anybody hits you, shoots you as an ICE, remember, no ICE agents have been hurt yet, right? They haven't been hurt yet. No reports of any of them dying. I don't know about that, but this protects them. Europeans are becoming a minority, and they're throwing a fit. Yeah, if you say it, yeah, you're right, James. I don't know if that's what it is, but they're going after everybody. It's not just going to be undocumented citizens or immigrants. This ICE thing is just a cover. They're going to be going for all Americans, man. They're already doing it. Two of the people who passed away were American, weren't they? They're Americans, right? So you got to be scared if you are American. You got to be scared because the next city it could be you, right? Support ICE. You're a supporter of ICE. Well, if you want to support ICE, that's good. That's good for you. Some people might not support ICE, right? But ICE is doing its job for Donald Trump. This is what Donald Trump wanted. So can't fight against it. This is what Donald Trump wanted. He wanted to have the wall. Remember, he wanted the wall? I don't think that really happened. But now he started to just deport. He used a police, right? The deporting police, right? My family came to the continent in 1760, Newport, Rhode Island. We've seen a lot. Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's way back. No, they're being voted out. Oh, a lot of things are going on. Listen, these ICE guys now get the camera. It's to protect them. It's to protect themselves. It's to really protect themselves because any whatever protester that throws rocks at them, spits at them, or whatever they're gonna try to do, they're gonna see it. And if ICE shoots you, it will be in self-defense, and they have the camera. So it's reverse psychology, people. Just because now the ICE has cameras doesn't mean that they're more safer. Think of it. You've seen a lot of video already on the internet of police brutality, and they don't give a damn if the camera's on. They don't even pay attention. So the camera, right, on their chest is for protection. Only a fool, dummy, especially doing that job, right, is going to be doing something on the camera, right? But they do a lot of stuff. Hate to tell you, kid, it's much worse than Mississippi, 1955. He said, hate to tell you, kid. It was much worse. Yeah. Yeah. It was much worse because there's no social media. There's no social media to make you know what was going on. So people could do anything behind the scenes, right? It was much worse. You're right. They could do many things. But there was a person on in the chat earlier talking about misinformation. Where is the misinformation? What I'm telling you, this is stuff like what I'm reading. I could read, but I don't like. I like to go off the top what I know. But I could read, and it's all facts. What they're doing, they're giving them more funding, right? More funding they'll be getting the ICE, and that means more weapons, more training, and more places, right? In 1955 South, you cannot leave your house after dark. Yeah, I've been hearing certain places still in America's like that. Isn't it still like that in certain places? Yo, bless up D2E in the chat. My brother's in the chat. Yeah, isn't some places still sundown states and stuff? I talked to I talked to somebody from that state. Yeah, I think it's still sundown in certain places. Maybe Alabama, right? The ICE is going to be more than just one state. They're everywhere. So they're just getting spotlighted in Minnesota right now. Everywhere around the country are certain places they're protesting, but they're just getting spotlighted in Minnesota because of the fraud stuff and with the Somalis, and there's thousands of Somalis they want to deport from there, right? Yeah, mostly southern states. There's thousands of Somalis who they want to deport, which they're deporting. What I'm talking about, they've been deporting. I'm hearing he's proud of how much people he deported from Minnesota with the ICE. He's very proud of it. And there's remember, I think there's over near 100,000 some like Somalis like in the community. Not all of them are like illegal. There's a lot of them who are born there. They've been there before, but the point is, he got the ICE going after that community right now. You could only imagine the stories, what you're gonna hear about later on, how much people got deported back to Somalia and cannot come back, right? Everybody has their story. Enough work for them. Yeah, it's a lot of work. In New Orleans, they reduced crime by 80%. Oh, New Orleans is a very violent place, very violent place. But right now, the ICE, where do you think they're going next? Where do you think these ICE guys are going to be going next? Guaranteed they're going to some place where there's a lot of immigrants, right? They didn't reduce shit. They said in New Orleans they reduced crime. Someone saying no, they didn't reduce. Back and forth. But right now, the next state I feel there might go to, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to like, no, he's not going to touch New York. Trump's not going to touch New York yet. That's his place, right? He doesn't want to stir up some stuff. ICE will mostly end up in prison when this shit is over. ICE, you think so? But they're working with the government. Isn't it a government agency? They keep their faces covered because they know they're going to prison. Well, they're saying that they want to try to force them to take the mask off. I don't know if that's true. Will they take the mask off or certain states? I'm hearing that's what they want to do, right? No, they won't. You don't think they're going to take the mask off? They're trying to force them to take the mask off, but it's dangerous. So let's play devil's advocate, right? These guys do so much stuff. By taking off the mask, doesn't that put them in danger? Isn't going to put them in danger because they're hated. They're like villainized right now. Like no one likes the ICE. No one likes them. They didn't reduce a goddamn thing. Okay, so back here, Donald Duck. So my thing is this right now. What's going on? They're getting investment. They're gonna get more power on the streets of America. They're going to be everywhere. They recruited thousands of these people to be in ICE. They're paying them like a doctor. Each individual's almost getting paid like a doctor. Some have more, like they get these bonuses. I'm hearing they get bonuses. So that's what's pushing these guys. These guys are probably ex-military. Some of them are some like militia guys. Some are like all types of figures. You can imagine who they are, right? So they don't want to take off their mask. They don't want to take off their mask because that would put them in danger. That would put them in danger right now. So the ICE, like I said, to American citizen, a normal American citizen, if you say you're generational, they'll be coming for you. It's not just the immigrants, 100%. It's not just the immigrants, 100%. They're coming for every single person they want or they feel. I just showed you a captain, a police captain. They stopped him, right, for his papers, a police captain, and he won allegedly. I don't know if this is real news and stuff. I seen it. People was posting it. 120 something $1 million, right? Sued the ICE and got that much money. Now, yo, that's not good for the ICE, man. That's a lot of money. That's a chunk of money right now. So I don't know if Trump is looking over this, if this story, I think it's going viral, but you have the police captain who sued the ICE for that much money. That means a lot of them need to be trained more or they're on this real power trip they're on. What's going on right now. But the recent news is a lot of things is going to change for them, right? So it says Homeland Security has said that at least 4 customs and border protection officers are on the scene with Petty who were shot wearing body cameras. Let me see this. What were they saying? People wearing body cameras. The body cameras footage from Petty's shooting has not been made public. Oh, the last shooting, what happened? They have camera footage of it. They're saying this is new news. I didn't know, but they're not releasing it yet. This could be a big turnaround lawsuit against the government if it shows anything what's not right. That's not good. Mm-mm. Fairly shot. So it says U.S. government officials says ICE agents fairly shot Alex Preddy at the protest in Minneapolis because he had a gun on his person. And according to U.S. President Donald Trump, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller was a wounded, what no, wasn't wounded, was would to be assassin. Andrew Change breaks down several video angles of the shooting moment by moment to understand how accurate the government's initial account is. Images provided by the Canadian press, Reuters. Wait, hold on, man. Man, this is gonna get bigger and bigger. So that's why they're saying Epstein is being talked about a lot. The Epstein files. That's why they're saying the Epstein files are getting released. This that will overshadow certain things like this. The department has not responded to repeated questions about whether any of the ICE officers on the scene of Good's killing earlier in January were wearing the cameras. So some of them have cameras, I'm getting through this story. Some have cameras and some don't have cameras. Most of them don't. But they're saying maybe there was a camera at both of these shootings, right? Where the ICE, is getting blamed for. So, in response to Newham's announcement, Minnesota Gov Tim Walz said on X, once again, Trump's friends platform, said on X that the body camera should have been worn long before officer killed two Americans. You hear that? Now they're saying the body camera should have been worn a long time ago, right? Before it got to killing two Americans, right? So that is upsetting people right now. Human rights advocates have widely condemned Trump's immigration policies as lacking due process and making the environment hostile for immigrant communities. Trump has cast his actions as being aimed at improving domestic security. So, damn, a lot of stuff is going on in America, man. Yeah, you got this Trump, Donald Trump doing a lot of stuff, man. Talking a lot, doing a lot of stuff with this ICE. And who's next? Where else is he going? He's going somewhere next. Where is he going next? Not New York. He's probably going back to California to filter out more of California because there's a lot of illegals in California state, which he probably is gonna bring the ICE back there. And then he's avoiding New York. There's a whole bunch in New York, but it looks like he's avoiding it because that's where he's from. But I'm guessing they're going to be going to New York, probably going to Chicago, maybe the South. He should look in the South. No one's looking at the South. Maybe he'll go to the South and start making the ICE go there. It'll be different though when they go to the South. That's the different thing. When they go to the South, man, if you're ICE, you're all right probably so far in Minnesota. If you're ICE, you're all right if you go maybe to New York. But if you go to the South, ICE, you might get you might start seeing the ICE people getting hurt. You might hear about that, right? And Chicago, I think they tried to go to Chicago. Like they're gonna go everywhere. Trump wants to prove a point. He's gonna go every single place he can before he's finished being a president. He's gonna make the ICE go everywhere. These guys, they're gonna be look. They're getting more funding. I don't know if people know how much money these guys are making, but they're making near what 100,000, if not over 100,000 each person from the ICE. They're not making. They're making more money than a New York policeman, probably, right? Making more money than a New York policeman and other law enforcement. But right now they're villainized. People want them to take off their mask, walk around with a body camera, in this time where they're hated the most. So you being hated the most is not a good thing, and taking off a mask is not a good thing. That will make your life be in threat, right? Once there's funding, better be worried, Americans. So yes, you got to be worried once there's funding. He got the funding. He got the Venezuelan oil. He got the Venezuelan oil. So they've been recruiting recently, not too long ago, a lot of people, a big amount of people they recruit. So now that's like a job. Like I'm wondering what's the requirements to be a ICE agent? What's the requirements? Do you have to have a clean record, or you could have a record what's not clean? That's a big question. Like how do you become a ICE agent, right? Maybe enforce immigration at the border. Yo, well, Joe Biden, you got to kind of blame that fella because he was flooding America, opening it up, right? People were they weren't paying attention. He was just letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry in America. So then, of course, you're gonna to have somebody like Donald Trump come and stop that. Yo, Joe, Crazy Joe, they call him. Joe was letting in a lot of people, wasn't he? He was letting a lot of people in, like a freebies. And then, yo, look, Donald Trump came and he said, yo, we got to clean this up, make America great again. We got to make America great again because he didn't like the Obama administration. He didn't like Biden's administration. He felt when he was president, he was making America great. So now with the ICE, yo, do you think they're gonna get locked up? Any of the ICE involving those two shootings in Minneapolis? Do you think that the ICE people are gonna be prosecuted? You know what I think is gonna happen? A payoff. The government is probably trying to pay the family off, and some the families off. Right? I'm just allegedly. Allegedly, the government will probably try to pay them off in some type of way, right? Because they want to see video footage. If they What do they want video footage for? They want video footage so they could see how the individuals died. And if it's the ICE who looks like they're the problem, the reason for it, then they want to see some justice. So the government now doesn't want to look like a fool. They don't want to look like idiots. So they're gonna fight in behalf of the ICE. So now, yes, the ICE got body cams. Yeah, they got the body cams. And it's for them. It's to protect the ICE agents. Texas was shipping immigrants across the country instead of shipping them back across the border. You're right. You're probably right, Sassimo. Besides, the tunnels are still open, which the CIA cartels and cabals use. Probably, you're right. They have all those tunnels probably still there, right? There's a bigger picture to all of this. There's a bigger picture to all of this. So the flow of narcotics, for example, right? It could be from the government, or it could be from, like I said, these organizations, right? Which they accuse for years bringing in the drugs into America, right? That flow's slowed down now. That game is threatened now. So any drugs, what's going on, I mean, any narcotics, what's flowing through America, especially in California, they have probably dried that up now because they locked up the president of Venezuela because they blamed him for the narcotics coming in to America, him supporting cartels. They locked up the Canadian skier who was a big drug lord, international whatever drug lord recently because the cartels, he was with the cartels in South America, right? So, yo, the ICE, they ain't joking with anybody from there. If you're from South America and you're in America right now and you are not legal, they're going to take you out for the next 3 years, right? For the next 3 years, they're going to be taking out everybody out of California who's not legal. They went there and they're going back. The same thing with the Minnesota stuff. They got Minnesota on lock, right? They got California on lock. He might go two other main places, probably New York. Republican claims they hate doing and relying on the government. Hmm. Well, that's a question. Right now, the ICE is going to be taking away your social freedom on the street. People, I heard some Americans worried about if they go out, if they'll be stopped and questioned and stuff. But if you don't have anything to hide, you shouldn't worry about it. If you have your ID, you shouldn't worry about it. But if you have a criminal record now, if you owe the government something like IRS or whatever, they probably will use certain things against you. They'll look up all your records. That's what's going to happen. The ICE is going to be able to stop you and look up everything, especially if you have a phone. Guaranteed, that's what they'll use to investigate you 100%. American better delete their TikToks. You're right, would be a dream to come true. You're right, America better delete their TikToks. That's where it's starting. It's crazy. See, a lot of things could go over people's heads, right? It's going over people's heads because the TikTok, like I said, and people take this, and I said it earlier, it's really serious. They got over 100,000, 100 million people using it, 200 million to be exact. And they said it has dropped since this new update. They already got all your info if you guys are still on it. I'm gonna see the update. Let me see the update because guess what? ICE is watching that 100%. Now, if you are illegal, if you're not really legal in the country, you should not be on any social media device, right? You should be undocumented for real. Don't even be on no TikTok, right? Because that is watching your every move. Everything's watching your phone. Doesn't matter what it is, but especially if you are someone who's not legal and legit in the country and you're illegal, right? The ICE is gonna use that, right? TikTok and ICE. You can't even talk about ICE on TikTok. That's to show you something, right? Better delete it, like my brother said. New digital ID. It is a digital ID. That's what TikTok is. TikTok is the new digital ID. It's a digital ID people are obeying to without really knowing it, right? So yeah, they got them on that. ICE is coming for a lot of people, man, and it's not just the immigrants. That's what a lot of Americans better know. And I know there's a lot of smart Americans out there in the universe that knows TikTok is definitely a digital ID. And if you have one, you better delete that app. You don't want that app anymore. You don't want that app because if you still have that app, they got you 100%. ICE got you if you still got that app. But yeah, people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe. Seeing the details, right? Subscribe, people. But what's next for ICE? More soldiers, if you want to call it. What's next for ICE? They got cameras to record you if you do something to them, right? People are thinking, oh, these cameras are going to see what ICE is doing. We're going to see what ICE is doing. Guess what? Even for normal police who got body cameras, I guarantee there's less assaults on them right now because the body cameras. You don't really you don't really want to play with police first of all, but when they have actually a camera to record wherever they go, you don't want to be around. So this is really helping them. This is really helping them, the ICE. And these guys are getting paid good. Someone is saying they're wearing masks. I heard that might change. I don't know if Trump's going to make that happen. I don't think Donald Trump's going to make that happen. Do you guys think Donald Trump will make that happen? ICE without mask? Without the mask? Without the mask, ICE. How will that be? I don't think so. That's not going to happen. They're not going to take the mask off. That will just put them in danger. Danger. All those people they deported, especially the cartels, some cartel people, they deport them. You have to do as an ICE agent, you're probably traveling all around the country. They probably have to mix it up. If you were in this state for a while, okay, now you're gonna go to Chicago. This person goes to New York, right? They're gonna always, you probably always have a mission to do. They can't keep you in one city because that's dangerous. It makes sense. If you're an ICE agent, you probably have to stay somewhere for like, I'm here for 3 weeks, and then they travel to another place. They're there for a couple weeks. That's their job. But now they're gonna get more money, more of a push to do their work, right? Remember, they're getting paid. They're getting paid, man. But so far, the only people who died from the ICE, the controversial group, are Americans. Take that in. It's Americans who died from this controversial group. It's not any undocumented people. It's not any immigrants that died from the ICE. It's two born Americans, right? So it's very sensitive now, more than ever, because it's Americans. Let's be straight up. So it's not going away. The deaths of those two individuals is not going away, and the government wants the money. Black Lives MAGA. You're talking about Nicki Minaj, must be. Black Lives Matter. No, that was Nicki Minaj, man. MAGA Minaj. Right now, the campaign is Epstein to cover up certain things, what's going on out there. It's this whole Epstein talk. Trust me, I guarantee that if they're talking about anything about what's on in regards to Donald Trump or the and to cover up things, it's the Epstein files. 100% it's the Epstein files. Nigga got suckered. It's the Epstein. Listen, the Epstein files is a like as much as people want to know about it because for years, we want to know who's on the list or whatever the Epstein files. This is a perfect way to make everybody kind of forget what's going on in Minnesota. And it's working. It's actually working because they have deported probably hundreds of people, if not thousands of people. They have discovered there's been billions of dollars stolen from the government. They have arrested a lot of people for fraud in Minnesota. So now it's kind of quiet down, right? Yo, just check it. It's silent, really, right now because they're talking about the Epstein files. Even Trump is talking about it. He's the one who brought it up, right? Trump's new slogan for Mags got kids. I don't know. Why did tampon why did tampon Tim Waltz tap? Waltz, listen, the next state where they're gonna go to is gonna be a mystery. I think they might go to Washington. Would they go to Washington? I'm wondering. Maybe Washington is where Trump should do. You bring the ice to Washington. Bring the ice right to Washington. Probably New York. People are thinking, yeah, New York. That's where he's from, right? But either way, they have recruited thousands, thousands of them. I don't. They're not all. I'm guessing trained perfectly. There's a percentage of them that's not trained good because they have hired a lot of them and you got to be careful when you're on the street because they feel they got the power and authority over you because they have the government supporting them like Donald Trump. So these guys who have like guns or whatever weapons, they'll do whatever they want because they feel they got the authority of Donald Trump. So ICE guys don't want they don't want the mask to come off. They don't mind the body cams because the body cams is like their security. As much as people are thinking, yeah, now we get to see what these guys are doing. People are thinking now we get to see what these ICE guys are doing. But really, it's protecting the ICE, right? Sanctuary cities getting iced. Tell me, do you know the list of sanctuary cities? If any of you in the chat, put tell me the sanctuary cities. I've been hearing that name for a while. Which other sanctuary cities are there? Because I guarantee that's where he's going. I think sanctuary cities might mean like where a lot of the refugees they put in America. Let me see what that is. I used to hear about that. Sanctuary cities. What's sanctuary cities? Sanctuary cities. Let's see. There's no official definition constitute to a sanctuary city state. In general, it refers to a policy that limits, defines the extent to which the local state government will share information with federal immigration law officers. Oh, saying some cities will not share information with the ICE. That'll be interesting. That some cities don't want to share, like they're gonna kind of rebel in a way and not show them any information. That will be interesting. What are sanctuary cities? Global refuge. Interesting. Each state has a sanctuary city, so they're going to all the states. They're going to every sanctuary city. How much sanctuary cities are there? How much? So you're saying 50? They say there's a lot. So they know where they're going. They got their list. They got their list, people. They got their list. But I don't know how, like, it'll be interesting in the next year. I'd give it a year how the ice is moving because it's just not Minnesota. Even Trump brought that up. It's not just Minnesota. There's a lot more. There's a lot more places to go. And like I said, the biggest individual who stole the most money out of Minnesota was American citizen. 200, I think, was it? It's near the, I think it was like 250 million. Yes, 250 million was the biggest theft, like individual theft out of Minnesota, right? It was a lady, American citizen who done that. So he's thinking, yo, if this is happening in Minnesota, right? Imagine the other places. And it's not just the immigrants, it's actually Americans who are camouflaging themselves with the immigrants and stealing money too. That would be interesting. The first illegal immigrants were Europeans. Well, yeah, some people will say yeah, you're right, right? So everybody should be deported. No, well, the ICE is in power right now, right? It's hard to dispute that in America. They're in power for to take out illegal immigrants, undocumented people. They're the police for that, right? And trafficking. See, it's kind of interesting because when you look up the ICE, it's not just for immigration. I'm hearing it's for like sex trafficking. So this whole thing with the Epstein thing, wasn't Epstein stuff like, connected to sex trafficking and stuff like that? So is the ICE investigating that now? Like, you get what I mean? Like, if they were involved if that's their job, they're doing that too. Like this Epstein stuff is is to confuse and to distract, because for a long time people have been asking about the Epstein files. A lot of people are accusing all types of people of being a part of this whole Epstein stuff, including Donald Trump. Donald Trump just came out recently and said that he's not associated with the Epstein files, saying that he didn't like Epstein. Let me see what you're saying, Sasamo. They are just focused on black and browns. Why not all the undocumented immigrants like Russians, Chinese, and Japanese, and etc.? You know why? You're right. There's tons of them too, undocumented. There's tons, but it's easier to pick out the ones that are visual, like they could visually see. You get what I mean? Very easily, and that would be like the African, right? So they could easily just pick that one out. Maybe an Asian for the ice. But like if you're from Europe, man, you could blend in because stereotypically right? No one's looking on a European as an immigrant. It sounds bad and shit, but they're not looking on a European as an immigrant. So if they look Caucasian and they're from Russia, they could learn a good English and you'll never know, right? They could fool anybody if they learn good English and everything like that, and they're not really born in America. No one's gonna question them, right? It's gonna be harder to question, but the ICE is no joke. Like what he's doing, this is his private police. This is Donald Trump's private police that he's invested in. They're like a, they're like what's called a militia, a funded militia. Even though we're saying they're a government agency, right? We may say they're a government agency, but they're moving like a militia or they're moving like something else. So now the government wants funding to go out fully to every single state what has the ICE to have body cameras. So every single state has to have it. Millennia doesn't speak good English. You're right. Melania doesn't speak good English. You're right. It's Donald Duck's private army. Yeah, well, I'm hearing even Obama. Obama used ICE a lot. Obama got almost 3 million people deported himself. So the Democrats ain't innocent either. The Democrats and Obama ain't innocent. Obama deported a lot of people with ICE. When you look it up, right? See, people want to hide from that, like, because they like Obama. But Obama wasn't perfect, right? Obama was doing dirt too. Every president has to have some dirt. And he just didn't put it on TV or social media, right? He didn't go talk about the people. He just said, yo, ICE, you got to do a cleanup job. We got a lot of these undocumented people in America, and we're going to go out there and we're going to start getting them and we're going to deport them, right? So he deported a lot, a lot. A lot of people are not talking about that. They're just going to talk about Donald Trump. 100%. Most people are just going to say Donald Trump is the most evilest man who's using the ICE, right? And doing a lot of shit. The only reason people really care is because two people who are American, right? American, died. Two of them died. So now it's a big issue, more than ever. Two of them died. It wasn't any, I seen the energy change. I seen the energy change after the two individuals died, especially the last one, the guy who had the gun. They're saying the nurse guy. After that, the energy completely changed. Completely changed. So now that's why they're using the Epstein stuff to kind of, you know, go over your head with it. Because that's the biggest news right now. The biggest news is the Epstein files. Every page you go, if it's on Instagram or YouTube, you're gonna hear about the conspiracy of the Epstein files and shit, and you're gonna hear about Donald Trump talking about it. Meanwhile, the ICE is going out right now, knocking on doors more than ever, arresting people more than ever, and probably beating up people more than ever, right? But they all have body cams now. They say they all have it. I don't think that's true. I don't think every ICE agent has one now. This is just recent now. So it's going to take some time. That's a lot of money. That's a big budget for, just say it's like 20,000 ICE people. Just say it's 20,000 ICE members. So they're going to have to get 20,000 cameras, right? 20,000 cameras for each, and those cameras ain't cheap. So are they going to still be paying these ICE guys like over 100,000 and plus have to give them these cameras? That's that. Well, then again, Donald Trump got Venezuelan oil, right? He got the Venezuelan oil what he could use, but he better be using a lot of that oil, because if you have a big group of guys who are like I said, how much ICE members are there? How much ICE agents are there? Agents are there. Let's see. How much ICE agents are there? Whoa, 22,000. They got 22,000 ICE agents. Since Trump took office a year ago, the number of ICE agents has jumped from 10,000 to 22, thanks to largely to the Department of Homeland Security DHS recruitment drive to sign up what they call qualified patriotic Americans from across the country. Oh, look at that detail. Patriotic Americans across the country. So they got actually some people who are, they want to do this. Like, this is like a mission for them. It's not just the money. These are some maniacs, maybe they got too. Some people who are saying, just read it. Recruitment drive to sign up what they call qualified patriotic Americans are from across the country. 22,000. So you got to give them 22,000 cameras. 22,000 cameras is going to be coming. 22,000 cameras. How many ICE agents are there? 22,000, right? Increase. What else? How many ICE agents have arrests occurred? Okay, in total, the administration has arrested more than 328,000, deported nearly, what? 327,000. So mostly deported all of that. So in total, the administration had arrested 328,000, deported basically all of them. Maybe only have 1,000, and they probably arrested, locked in prison somewhere. That's interesting. In this administration, how long has Trump been the president for? How long? He hasn't been the president for that long. The second half. That's a good amount of people he's deported. I think he wants to beat Obama. Obama had over almost 3 million, so Trump's probably trying to deport 6 million. So far, he has 300 and he's going a million soon. He's probably past that, right? 328,000 deported. That's how much he arrested. And after then, there's 327,000. So about 1,000, right? He kept 1,000 is kept, arrested, and they're still investigating them. And they might not be going back to wherever they're from, right? He's keeping them to question them, investigate them. ICE announces historic 28% manpower increase. So, yes, ICE is just going to get bigger. The ICE organization is just going to get bigger, and they're just going to start arresting everybody, which they're already doing already. I told you earlier, they arrested a captain, right? A black, well, they attempted, no, they didn't arrest him. They asked for his papers. So they didn't probably believe him. He was saying he's a police captain. And he sued. I don't know if this is real news, but that's what is going out there. He sued them for 100 and I think $24 million, the ICE. That's a lot of money, right? So the Trump administration has claimed that around 140,000 people had been deported as of April 2025 through but though some estimate the number is roughly half that number. So he's been on the attack for a while. This is not new. Trump's been on the attack for a while, right? Deporting people a lot. But who should worry is American citizens, generational Americans. Don't get comfortable. He's coming for everybody. ICE has a bigger budget than our military. Damn, you see? That's the plan. The plan is for him to go everywhere for the next 3 years, right? The next 3 years. I don't even think it's been a year. I'm hearing soon, maybe soon a year he's the president, but he got a couple years left of this madness where he's going to be putting out. He's angry. This is revenge, right? This is revenge for him losing the election which Biden had won. He don't like that. He don't like that, right? He wanted it fully straight. So now this is revenge. 100%. This is revenge. ICE agents, they're getting paid. They're getting paid the money, but is it worth it right now? Right? You got the body cam. People want them to take the mask off. So if you take the mask, will they even take the mask off? I don't think so. It's too dangerous to take the mask off, right? ICE also is worldwide and starting to travel with Trump. Yeah, I'm hearing about that shit. They're talking about ICE coming to Canada. I don't know about that shit, man. How could they just be going worldwide? Like, come on. I know it's American. Isn't it an American company? That would be some shit if other countries was hiring them. Like they don't have their own immigration people to deal with their own situation, right? This is to show you what you're talking about out there. And there's distractions, what's going on. Like I'm saying, it's kind of funny to me because as much as people know about, like I said, the TikTok update, that it knows they're going to know all your information if you're on that platform, right? And what's going on in Minneapolis, right? And how these agents are getting protected and nobody's gone to court, like there's nothing. This is to show you they really got people now. Even though people are protesting in the streets, some of them are protesting in the streets. They really got everybody mostly under control, right? Because if you got, like I said, 200 million people didn't take this in. I don't think people take it in. Like there's 300 million or so Americans, but they said TikTok is taking 200. They have 200 million users. So even if a lot drop out and some don't use it, that means they have a lot of Americans' information, and those people don't give they don't give a damn because they're still using that platform. There, that shows you there's a percentage, right? That even Trump knows they have them brainwashed 100%. Let's be straight up, right? They know they got. Yes, yes, I'm in the dark, man. I'm in the dark, but they know they got a lot of people brainwashed 100%. They know they have a lot of people brainwashed. That's why they could do this. You got to think of it. It's a sign. It's a project, man. It's a project they're playing on. They have people in a project. They're saying, let's see how much we could push people. Let's see all the stuff we put out and how they will still want to use it. Right? They said they were going to ban it. You remember? Mr. Trump said, I'm going to ban the TikTok, and everybody, like I said, it was like the end of the world. I swear it was like weird, man. It was kind of strange, especially when you seen a lot of Americans on Instagram how they were like reacting to, oh, TikTok, it's not on. It's Trump wants to ban it, and how people are worried. Oh, I lost money and a whole bunch of shit. It was kind of weird, but listen, he knows how to control a crowd. Trump, aka brainwash people, right? So that's what's going on. That's what's going on big time right now. A lot of people are brainwashed, and the what's called the ICE, they could go out there and ask anybody who doesn't know their rights for their information, and that's what's going to happen. If you don't know your rights fully, they're going to get you 100%. And like I said, city by city, city by city, they will be going to. It's not just one place. I think a big population watches social media and think it's only gonna be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's never gonna come here. It happened in California, Mexico. Oh shit, that's never gonna come here. Especially people in New York, right? If you are undocumented, right? If you are even just a normal American citizen, no one's perfect, right? They're gonna be coming after you. This is a different time. He's basically saying there's no freedom. There's no freedom. What you think is out there. That's the message. That's the message his administration is giving you. He's telling you there's no freedom like you thought was around before. There's nothing. There's a different time. That's what he was saying. That's what he was giving you guys. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about what Trump is doing right now? To the world, he's doing it, and to his own people. So Trump is doing things to the world, threatening the world, right? Like I said, internationally, and he's endangering or basically threatening his own people. It's not just like I said, the misconception is that ICE is only for people who are illegals. Now they're getting sex traffickers too, because if you look up ICE, right? Let's see what ICE is. It's not just for capturing illegals. It's not just for capturing illegals. It's for other things. But that's what is getting promoted the most, right? That's what's getting promoted the most, that it's just to capture immigrants. But it's not. Even sex traffickers is for, right? So let's see. United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, right? Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So so it says the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE is a federal law enforcement agency under the United States Department of Homeland Security. So it's federally. They could go any damn place probably in America, which they can, right? So let's see what else they could do. What? To protect Americans cross-border crime and illegal immigrants that threaten national security. I know they're going to put that, right? They have a whole bunch of things. Now they have over 20,000 law enforcement officers, personnel, 400 offices. They got 400 offices all through America, 400 offices in the United States and around the world. Hold on a minute. Now this is new. I didn't know this shit. Hold on a minute. The ICE has offices in America and around the world. That's new to me. Around the world, that's extra shit. Why do they have anything to? Let me go look this shit up. So if ICE is around the world, this crazy shit. I don't even believe this shit. ICE was created in 2003. This is the history of ICE. I'm gonna give you guys this, right? Go ICE, so you're for ICE. Okay, this is the history of ICE. I thought they were older than this. ICE was created in 2003 through a merger of investigative and interior enforcement elements of the former U.S. Customs Service and the Immigration and Naturalization Service. ICE now has more than 20,000 law enforcement support personnel in more than 400 offices in the United States and around the world. I don't know why it's around the world. The agency has an annual budget approximately 8 billion, damn, 8 billion? 8 billion primary devoted to the operational directorates, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, Enforcement and Removal Operations, ERO, and Office of the Principal Legal Advisor, OPLA, a fourth Directorate, Management and Administration, MNA, supports the three operational branches to advance ICE's mission. What the fuck is their mission? They got shit all around the world too. I didn't know this. Formed in 2023. So this is not, 2003. I was saying 23. 2003. So it's been around for 23 years. Enforcement and removal operations. They have a whole bunch of shit what they do. Homeland security investigations, management administrations. It makes you wonder what else do these guys do? Because they said they have this agency all around the world. It's crazy. Office and chief financial officer. Where they get this money from? Who financed them? That's who we want to know. Who financed the ICE? Office of Principal Legal Advisor. There's so much shit. They got attorneys too, a whole bunch of them. Listen, 2000, I'm going to go back to this. 2003, the ICE was created, right? With a whole bunch of different agencies what were around before, right? Into this one. So listen, these are not no little, it's not no little organization. This is a very powerful, if you want to call it, government organization, right? So this is what they could do: enforcement and removal of operations. The ERO directors uphold U.S. immigration law within and beyond our borders. EROs work in critical to enforce of immigration law against those who present a danger to our national security, are the threat to public safety, or who otherwise undermines the integrity of our immigration system. ERO operations target public safety threats such as convicted criminals, undocumented aliens, and gang members. You hear that? Hear that? As well as individuals have otherwise violated our nation's immigration laws, including those who illegally re enter the country after being removed, and immigration fugitives ordered to remove by federal immigration judges. ERO deportation officers assigned to Interpol also assists in targeting and apprehending foreign fugitives. I didn't know this shit. This is something interesting. That's why they're international. What kind of law? Who allow this shit? You gotta see. People are just talking about the ICE and the ICE, but there's more to them. Interpol. Let me read some more. Interpol also assists with targeting and apprehending foreign fugitives or fugitive arrest, removal (FAR) cases who are wanted for crimes committed abroad and who are now at large in the U.S. So, meaning if you're wanted in all these other countries, which and then they hear that you're in America, they for sure they're going for you. They hunt you down. They should. That's their job. So other countries, that's why they got places all around the world. It makes sense. So the other countries where some criminals have left to go to America, because a lot of people love to go to America, they have something set up that they will, go straight after them after getting the report from whatever country has some guy who's a criminal who's basically illegal in America. So ERO manage all aspects of immigration enforcement process, including identification and arrest, domestic transportation, detention, bond management, supervised release, including alternatives to detention. In addition, ERO removes undocumented aliens ordered removed from U.S. to more than 150 countries around the world. Yeah, they got it set up. They already got this set up from 2003. So this was just around for 23 years. But there were different elements what all came together, other organizations, if you want to say government organizations, that came together to make ICE. Homeland Security Investigations, that is called now, I don't know if you want me to tell you the rest, but this is what else they do. Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, is the principal investigation component of DHS and is responsible for investigating, disrupting, and dismantling transnational criminals, like the guy they locked up, the Canadian guy they locked up recently, right? Who was a big drug lord in the South America, right? Criminal organizations. TCOs and terrorist networks, which they call the cartels terrorists right now, right? Terrorist networks that threaten to seek to exploit the customs and immigration laws of the United States. Its workforce consists of more than 8,700 employees, including special agent, criminal analysts, mission support personnel, and contract staff assigned to more than 237 offices across the United States, more than 93 offices around the world. This happened because of 9/11 too. You have to look on it. 2000 and what 2003, Mr. Bush was up in there. So this happened because of all of that. There's a lot of stuff what happened because of September 11th. Really, I think ICE was kind of born to me of out of September 11th, right? They needed this. They were going after so-called terrorists. The American taxpayers, yep, go ICE. People like ICE, man. People saying ICE, ICE baby all the time and stuff like that. But yeah, what I'm basically telling you is they're trying to take away the freedoms, what you think you have in America. It's really like that New World Order type of play that you have no control and they have all control. And starting with the digital ID, which is the TikTok, that's a test. The TikTok shit is the digital ID. That is a test. Social media is the digital ID. They're already doing the test already, right? So, like I'm saying, if you are somebody who's doing illegal shit, they're coming for you 100%. If you're doing anything illegal, the ICE is coming for you. Look, like I said, they locked up a journalist the other day. They just locked up a journalist for talking. Locked him up for talking in a church. That was Donald Trump. Don Lemon got locked up because he was interfering with a church, what, I guess, service or with the pastor. So he broke the law, right? And Donald Trump made the FBI go and arrest that journalist. So if they could arrest the journalist, imagine what they could do to you, who's just somebody who has no money. They could do that to anybody because that journalist is rich and stuff like that. So, yeah, more to come. More is to come, people. I hate to say this, what you gonna do when the ICE comes for you? What you gonna do? The American taxpayers, yeah, the American taxpayers are gonna be they're paying for this right now. Those guys are getting like 100,000. They're getting like $100,000 almost in their pockets to do what they're doing. 100,000 people. And some may have gotten bonuses on top of it. So them putting on a thing on their chest, I don't think they mind a camera on their chest. I don't think the ICE guys mind a camera on their chest. As long as they could still wear a mask. As long as they could still wear a mask, they don't mind the cameras on their chest, people. No, they don't. Homeland security investigations. What else do they do? Management and administrations. ICE is all around the world. I didn't even know this shit, that these guys are all around the world, right? They work with other governments. Created. So who owns the ICE? Like, you got to look on this shit now. This is something what America doesn't want anybody to really dig into and talk too much about because they call it the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, right? So we're thinking it's just America they're dealing with, but they're really dealing with everybody around the world, right? I read it. They go after, international criminals who come to America. So international criminals, which a lot of them come from other countries to America, they're looking for them. They've been reported, so they're always working. They're always working. Like I said earlier, they transform. This is what it says. I'll say it again if people didn't catch it. ICE was created in 2003 through a merger of investigative and interior enforcement elements of the former U.S. Customs Service and the Immigration and Naturalization Service. So those two came together. To me, they're almost the same shit. And now has more than 20,000 law enforcement to support and support personnel in more than 400 offices in America and around the world, in the United States and around the world. Listen to that. Not just America. They got the offices around the world. How much people know this? And this was created, they said the ICE was created 2003. So it wasn't created 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, or whatever. It was created 2003, and they had a big recruitment. Then they started to recruit a lot of people, right? Crazy recruiting in the last year. Now they're recruiting people who don't have as much experience. That's what's been going on. Recruiting people who don't have that much experience, right? The agency has an annual budget of approximately 8 billion. So they get 8 billion annually. You hear that? An annual budget of 8 billion. People are just getting to know who these guys are now. No one was talking about ICE as much. It was like on and off. First, like I said, when he was deporting a lot of the Mexicans back to Mexico or South America. Remember that? Trump was deporting a lot of them. People were talking about that. People were getting angry how families were getting split up and all of that, right? They were angry at the government. They're angry at Donald Trump, right? But now, do you hear anything about Mexico or California? Do you hear anything going on? No, you don't hear anything really going on, right? You don't really hear anything going on anymore about California and the Mexicans that was locked up. You don't hear about that. Locked up and deported. A whole bunch of them. Now you're hearing about Minnesota. And it's thousands of people they're deporting from Minnesota. Probably other parts of America, they will be going for certain groups. I'm hearing that they've been targeting even Haitians too. People from the West Indies, they're targeting. Um, it doesn't look good. So if you are illegal, you better leave. You better leave if you have that money too, because they're gonna take everything what you got if you're illegal, right? Homeland Security investigations. So they do a lot. ICE has a lot of things what they do. Homeland Security Investigations is the principal investigation component of DHS. It's responsible for investigating and disrupting and dismantling transnational criminal organizations. So they went after this guy recently. It's probably ICE, and they kept it quiet with the FBI guy Patel. They were the ones who were probably helping get that drug lord from Canada, uh, and what's his name again, Ryan Wedding. They were probably working with people to get him, right? Because Ryan Wedding is a Canadian. He's not even from America or even South America. That's a perfect example. Someone like him. He's a Canadian who's a big drug lord all through the world and been accused of bringing a lot of drugs into America, right? Donald Trump is one of the main people who was talking about it, that the cartels are responsible for bringing a big percentage of the drugs into America. And that's why you don't hear about Venezuela. See? You see, a lot of distractions are around. You're not hearing about no Venezuela right now. What happened to Venezuela? What's going on with Venezuela? You don't hear nothing. Silence, man. No more Venezuela. You got to see the distractions they're putting out there. A lot of distractions. You're not hearing about nothing about Venezuela anymore. They're really good at distracting people, 100%. He went to Venezuela, bombed a couple places down there, kidnapped the president and the wife, and you don't hear nothing about that either. No, you just know that they took them. Nothing about Maduro, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. You're not hearing nothing about Venezuela now that America basically took out their leader. We're hearing about Epstein files. That's what you're hearing about. You're hearing about the Epstein files, 100%. That's all you're hearing about. I feel sorry for a lot of Americans because Mr. Trump is playing Monopoly, and they're putting more of these guys in the cities to be active, to be visual, and it's causing an uproar. It's causing people to want to revolt. It's causing other groups to come out, like the Black Panthers. You're hearing about the Black Panthers, right? I don't. Some people saying they're not the real Black Panthers. Then you're hearing some guys say they're the real, and they're saying that they're coming out to defend against the ICE. That the ICE is doing illegal shit. A lot of people are accusing the ICE of doing criminal shit, and they're doing stuff to ruin America. So now you're having these groups who are gonna respond and talk against the ICE. You're getting groups like Black Panthers come out. You're gonna have other groups come out talking against the ICE. So now the cameras right now that ICE have, they probably want these cameras on them. They really want these cameras on them because they don't want somebody to just shoot them, right, and harm them. So the cameras will kind of make certain people not assault them, right? Now you got like groups, other groups that want to defend the people that the ICE are, I guess, looking for and shit like that. So you're just hearing about these protests. People, just realize this. You're hearing about these protests. Yes, the ICE are at the event. But the ICE is really going out there right now without you knowing, and they're taking people to deport, arresting people. It's not the people necessary at the riot. They're going after people from their address. They're not. You're not even knowing that ICE is around. When ICE is in your neighborhood, you don't know they're around until they know where the person is. Then they'll come out. So that's what's going on. They're going after people. Meanwhile, you're doing all this protesting, people. All you protesting, that's all right. But they know who's at home. They know who's on that list. They got the list already. Right? So, like I said, Minneapolis, then they'll probably go to Chicago, maybe somewhere in the South. How much states do you think Donald Trump in the next 3 years will go with and purge the state? How much places do you think he's gonna go and purge the states? That's what I want to know. I think he's gonna go to a couple for the next 3 years. That's a good long time. I'm guessing he could get 10 more cities. In the next 3 years, he'll probably go to like 10 more cities with a lot of madness. All the major cities he's gonna go to. For sure, he has to hit New York. He's gonna hit New York. They went to Chicago, but they're gonna go back to Chicago, New York, Washington. Where else? Maybe Atlanta. They might just go to the South. Where else? Florida. Oh shit! They go to Florida, man. You guys better. They're gonna get a lot of people in Florida. So for sure, that is probably the next place. That is probably the next place. If not, they already been there. That's the next place they're going. Florida. The ICE for sure is gonna be going. You're gonna hear something come out of there. For sure, Florida, they're gonna be going to. Like they said, Trump already deported about what, over 300,000. Over 300,000. He wants to beat what's his name's record, Obama's record. Sees people sleeping while they're losing their rights. You're right. You're right, Mike Snyder. All I see is people sleeping while they're losing their rights and their economy tanks. Yup, that's facts. Cannot lie. People are really sleeping, but at the same time, Mr. Trump is giving these guys more funding, or the government is giving these guys more funding. They're getting $8 billion annually. $8 billion annually. So they probably could pay off. See, what happened is they could pay off certain people, right, for certain incidents what happened. Uh, I didn't know that they had offices all around the world. I had no idea. So it makes you, when you read and do your look up the info, there's a lot of other things these guys do. There's more to the ice. So they're actually going after international crooks or criminals for other countries. Other countries are paying the ICE. You have to look on it. It's like you're a criminal from, just say, let's say, uh, Russia, for example, and the Russians want this guy because he's a bad, bad guy. He stole all this stuff from Russia, and they really want him. So they go to ICE. ICE gets the contract. Just say the government pays them 80,000, whatever, American money, 100,000 or whatever. I'm just giving you an example. They take that contract and they'll go after that criminal. So how much international criminals are in America? That's the thing. That's a question. How much international criminals are in America wanted? You want to know wanted? How much of them? Probably a good amount. You have to protect your country from foreign invasion. Yeah, everybody is a lot of people are saying that. So, fugitives, FBI, let's see, most wanted fugitives, Secret Service, 15 most wanted fugitives, U.S. Marshal. That is local. But how much people who are international are wanted? That's a different list, right? It's probably hard to find. That's a different list. We know there's a whole bunch of Americans who are wanted, but how much people who are internationally wanted that live in America? That's the question. How many criminals from outside of America live in America? It's probably a lot of them. Probably a lot, because that's the place they feel they could hide, right? Um, how many international criminals in America? Because this is why the ICE is around. Damn. Okay. So incarceration. No, 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 no. Legal immigrant incarceration rates. They're gonna show you how much of them are locked up. How many foreign prisoners are in the U.S.? Okay, this is how much. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, BGS reports about incarnations in the U.S. U.S., the number of non-citizens incarcerated by BOP decreased approximately 33% from year-end 2017 to 36,000 non-citizens compared to the number incarcerated at the year-end to 2022, 24,000 non-citizens. Listen, those are just the non-citizens. I want to know how much people who are criminals from all around the world live in America. They're keeping that secret. They're not going to tell you. There's probably a lot. Really, there's probably a big number of criminals from all around the world who escaped their country and went to live in America. Think of it. No one talks about that. And that's why the ICE, they're out there for that. The ICE is out not just for undocumented citizens, right? They're going after some people who are some dangerous people too. Let's be straight up. Got to look on both sides. The ICE is actually going after some dangerous people too, who came from other countries and are wanted by these other countries. And if they capture them, what they do is return them back to those countries so they could face their crimes. But in return for the ICE have to get paid. So those governments are paying ICE. ICE is funded by all around the world. That's what it is. ICE is funded by all around the world. When you look on it, it's not just America. They're getting money from all these other countries that have probably a lot of criminals who have left easily their country and came to America for years and years and years. And no one's doing anything about it now but Mr. Donald Trump. So a lot of people are mad at Donald Trump right now because Donald Trump has put out the ICE the way how he presented them, and he doesn't care, right? Two American citizens died, right? Two American citizens died, um, not too far apart. No one thought that would happen. They didn't think that would happen to American citizens, two of them getting killed, right? Or, allegedly, whatever. It's very controversial. It's very controversial. They're saying that the ICE agents killed two American citizens. The ICE agents ain't locked up. They're saying that the American citizens who died are the ones at fault. That's how they're putting it. That they're aggressor. They're the aggressor. It's not the ICE. So that's why they're saying they have to wear now a body cam. It's a must for them to wear body cams now. No more just going out there. Then you hear in other stories, you see how it's all mixed up, that the guy who died recently in Minneapolis, the nurse, right? The one who had the gun. They're saying they possibly had a camera, a body cam. One of the cops or whoever was around, somebody may have a body cam. That's the new news what's coming out. That somebody or one of the officers had a body cam on. Let's see if this is real news. Stuff was recorded. So, is it going to be in the favor of the ICE or in the favor for the family who have lost their son or brother or whatever? Who's it going to really be in the favor of? Because if there's really video, this don't look good. If there's video, what makes ICE look bad, it don't look good. Right now, ICE got sued, for example. I don't know if it's a factual story. A captain, right? A captain, black captain, was asked for papers, his information in America and by the ICE, and he sued them later on, awarded 124 or 25 million dollars. So that if that's true, that's a big lesson for the ICE. But ICE has the money. Obviously, they're getting $8 billion annually. $8 billion for the organization. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It's the Down to Earth Network with your host, Sean Myrie. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on all podcast platforms. But yeah, I think a lot of people are really brainwashed when it comes down to it at the end of the day. Trump is doing what he's doing because he knows a lot of people are brainwashed. He knows he could get away with a lot of things. Uh, this ICE organization is just going to get bigger, and it's going to get worse for people, the average person, not just the undocumented citizen. It's not just going to be for the undocumented citizen, people. No, forget that. It's going to be for everybody. So anybody who was doing dirt, if you're a drug dealer, if you were somebody who was doing, like, if you're a pedophile or if you're doing trafficking right now, this is the worst time for you. This is the worst time. Your business is finished right now. These guys who they got out there in the street, they are getting um they're getting inspired, man. They're getting inspired right now. Inspired. Yeah, inspired with the money, what they're getting. Like I said, this is what just happened the other day, right? Take it in. This just happened the other day. ICE agents demand papers from black man. He's a police captain. Wins 124 million suit. You see? Won that money all because the ICE want to be bad, man. All because of that. What you're saying, I hope they come to Springfield, Ohio. I'm hearing there's a lot of, sorry to say, like Somalis there too. You have to protect your country. Okay, so you're saying you hope they come to Springfield, Ohio. I'm hearing there's a lot of, sorry to say, refugees in that city. So it probably is the next 100%. It probably is one of the next cities. I'm hearing about sanctuary cities and stuff. The ICE is just getting bigger. The ICE is just going to get more funding too. More funding is coming for ICE. 100%. More funding is coming for ICE. But look, they have, they have the money. They have all that money that this guy now got. He's not going to be any captain anymore. 124 million lawsuit. 124 million made him rich. The ICE made people rich, man. These guys, man, made people rich, right? So they got that $8 billion annually. They're getting $8 billion. How much people know that? How much people know that? That's why these guys are, like, doing whatever they want, wearing the mask, getting paid good. They're fighting to keep those jobs, or to keep that job. Whoever these ICE are, trust me, they don't care. They're getting the money. You, what's he saying? Chris Parks hopes that they come to Springfield, Ohio. They might come to Ohio. They might come to New York. They might go to a lot of different other places. For sure, they're gonna go back to California. They ain't finished with California yet, right? They're not finished with California yet. They will be coming. They're coming 100%. Chris Parker, they were denied going to Springfield because Haitians have temporary protective status until the end of 2026. Well, they're coming for those Haitians. I'm sorry, man. The temporary protective status, they already took that off with the Somalis right now. The Somalis were using that for a long time, for 30 something years, I'm guessing, or whenever they came. Um, right now, what you're saying, Seven Gator, to Chris Parks, they were denied going to Springfield. Okay, they were denied, but they're gonna try to come there again. They're going everywhere. They're gonna be going everywhere for people. That's what they want. They want to go every single place. And I think Ohio is, sorry, excuse me. Ohio is where a big population of even Somalis are too, besides Minnesota. And if you're talking about the Haitians, he probably wants to deport all the Haitians there too, right? On this temporary protective status. They're already in Columbus. You're saying, okay, they're already in Columbus. You're going to see more ICE agents getting recruited in the next 3 years more than ever. But Donald Trump wants to beat the record. Donald Trump wants to beat the record of Obama. Wants to beat the Obama the Obama record of almost, it's about over two, it's like 2,900,000 or something like that. It's almost 3 million. Just say it's 3 million people Obama deported. So Donald Trump for sure wants to double that. Donald Trump wants to say, "Oh, I deported 6 million people," right? So he won't beat the record fairly either way. You don't think he'll beat the record? It's interesting what he'll try to do because Obama already has the record right now, and no one's talking about it really. Everybody's just thinking it's Donald Trump, the bad guy, right? They're thinking Donald Trump is the guy who's deporting everybody, right? Nobody else has done the same thing as Donald Trump or worse. The only reason why they're talking about him is because they don't like him and the way how he talks, right? The way how Donald Trump talks, he angers a lot of people. He makes fun of people. But yo, that's just him. But more is to come. More is to come. Any celebrity, if you're gonna talk about Donald Trump, make sure you're an American citizen. But even if you're an American citizen, he's gonna use the government and the ICE to come at you. They already went, like I said, Don Lemon was talking about Donald Trump for the time when he first was the president and now, right? And he was at that protest in Minneapolis, and that's why he got in the situation by being arrested, right? T, I wish I was paid. Who's paid? Oh, Lee. Donald Trump is coming for a lot of people, man. If you're a celebrity and you want to, and you have some dirt, he's coming for you. Don't make him come for you and you have some dirt and you're a celebrity talking because it will be exposed, right? It will be exposed. He wants to sue what Trevor Noah for talking about him, making fun of him at the, what was it, the Grammys, right? Or was it the Golden Globe Awards? Some award show. Yeah, he was. I think it was the Grammys, making fun of Donald Trump. Made Donald Trump saying, "Oh, I want to sue that guy." You see that shit? Sensitive times, man. A comedian he went after, and then Donald Trump. I mean, he went after a journalist, and now he's going after a comedian, right? And he said that he done the worst job covering that show. Lo, he can't sue because slander would mean they were trying what lying about him. They did not lie, Lo. Trump is a sensitive guy. Yeah, he is sensitive. He didn't like. He said the guy done a bad job hosting the, I think, the Grammys. He said he done a terrible job hosting and stuff. Called him some name too, all types of stuff. Who's next? We shall see. There's people starting to talk. Remember, I remember I've been saying that. What happened to all the celebrities? Why is all the celebrities so quiet? Why is nobody really saying anything? Now you're seeing a couple celebrities starting to pop out and talk. Jay Z, what about Jay Z? Jay Z has to be quiet. Jay Z got to be careful. I was talking the other day how Nicki Minaj is bringing him up. So Jay Z has to be quiet right now, right? Noah is not funny no more. Was he ever funny? Noah? Was Noah ever funny? I want to know. Was that guy ever funny? To me, he's not really funny. He tried to do an impression, and it's not like I don't like. I didn't like it. Still, like I know people who do good Donald Trump impressions. Godfrey, that guy, the comedian, he does a good one. But this, he was doing like, oh, where's Donald? Where's Nicki Minaj? That was his joke. Where's Nicki Minaj? Oh, she's probably talking with Donald Trump about what, like whatever, what next to do or some shit like that. That was supposed to be funny. But either way, Nicki Minaj heard it and she responded, and then Trump responded and shit like that. Like, if you are a celebrity, you're you're a big target for Donald Trump. If you have dirt, you are a big target for Donald Trump. He'll probably get the ICE to deport you. Remember, the biggest individual on TikTok was deported by ICE. Let me tell you guys this again. The biggest individual is an African, right? I think he's from Senegal. Kwabi, I think I had his name, Kwabi Lamb. I remember his name, Kwabi Lamb. He was deported back, right? One of the first celebrities to get touched by the ICE, and he was deported. Recently, he made sure he took his money out of TikTok. Smart. He took out almost $1,900,000,000. The most biggest TikToker. He took his a lot of money out of that, and he sold his likeness to, or made them use his likeness. TikTok. Smart, right? He made sure he benefited from TikTok and came kind of out of it, because America owns a good percentage of the TikTok right now, and it's going to be used by the ICE to track down people, because it's a tracking app, as they accused it when the Chinese owner fully had control of it. That was what the accusation was. Why they wanted to ban it, because they're saying China was using TikTok to watch Americans. So now you got ICE out there. ICE, ICE, baby. ICE is coming for a lot of people. Have came for a lot of people. Coming for pedophiles, coming for traffickers, coming for a normal American citizen, coming if you owe child support, coming after you if you have some type of bond or some shit. Like, ICE, when they stop you and you don't have your ID, they're just gonna take. You're gonna be. They might just take you in. If you don't have your ID, they're gonna be warning people nationwide. Make sure you have identification. It's gonna be more important than ever that you're gonna have some type. You're gonna be forced, or they're gonna warn you to make sure when you're out in public that you have some identification. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff to the Down to Earth Network, the Down to Earth Podcast with your host, Sean Myrie. If you don't know, now you know. I told you all about the ICE, a good percentage of their history, what they're about, and what they're about is money. All these guys are getting over 100,000. They're getting about over 100,000, right? So if you're getting that money, you will love your job, right? Especially if you have a gun or some type of weapon and you're getting that money. Like, you're not getting shit money. You're getting, it's like you're a doctor with a gun, right? And you have, I guess, the president behind you. And having the president behind you is a good thing for them. You see, two Americans lost their lives, and people are just protesting, and then now they're using the Epstein files to distract a lot of you. I'm just saying, they're using the Epstein files to distract a lot of you from what's really going on with with America and the world too. Not just America, the world, because this man is doing shit all around the world, and the ICE organization has offices in America and around the world, and they're dealing with international criminals. So it's not just a domestic organization, it's an international organization. So remember that. ICE is not just a domestic, it's international. And they're just, and if you're illegal, they're coming after all of you. If you're legal in any way, I'm talking illegal person and somebody who's has illegal shit on them. Like you're a criminal, just a normal criminal, American citizen or whatever. They're coming for you. And if you have a weapon on you and they stop you, right? Yeah, illegal is illegal. I agree. If they come in for you and you have a weapon and they stop you, your life is at risk. You seen what happened just the other day in Minnesota. What is it about? Illegals don't you understand? Democrats, Diddy craps. Yeah, yeah. You're funny, man. Paul. Yeah, illegal's illegal. That's why I don't know why people don't understand that. I don't know why people don't understand that. If you're illegal, that means you don't have no rights. You have no rights if it's a the name says it all, illegal. So that means you have no rights. The ICE you'll be hearing about more every day, 100%. The ICE is not going to stop what they're doing. The body cameras is not going to stop what they're doing. The body cameras is to make the general public think that it's fair what they're doing. That's it. That's all it is, right? So they're not going to stop what they're doing, the ICE. They're going to continue to reign, do a lot of things you don't like with Donald Trump supporting. It's not going to end. What's going to make it more interesting, don't want it to happen, is if an ICE agent gets unalived. If an ICE agent gets unalived, right, that's when some change, even more change is going to come. More change will come. But people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Still Tuesday right now. And like I said, there's a lot of things going on in the world, but what is really big, what's going on, is a domestic social war between the government in America and this organization created 2020, 2003, called the ICE, right? ICE agents, right? The ICE agents right now are America's most hated organization. That's how they put it in the media. But a lot of people say Ice Ice Baby. A lot of people support what's going on, right? There's a big population of people who support the ICE. Don't act like the people don't support ICE. There is a population that support the ICE raids, what's going on in America. And then there's the protesters. So you got the protest people who are saying it's wrong what the ICE is doing. They're showing that on the media. But then there's a lot of people who are hiding too. They're not all coming out and talking who do support the ICE. They're like saying, yes, yes, finally somebody is fighting for us, getting rid of some of these undesirables in their in their view, right? That's what's going on with the ICE, people. Freedom is being taken away every day. And a lot of people, like I said, are brainwashed because they use social media basically to brainwash you. It's funny. As much as information is out there, people will still are still dumb. Because if they had put it out there, and I don't even want to repeat this. They basically put out there that we now have a lot of your information, and just to see if people will submit to what they put out. And so far, there's probably a lot of people who have submitted. They have got a whole bunch of people who is submitted, for example, through TikTok. And from you submit through that app, and if it's millions of you, they got you 100%. They've got you. But people, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It's the Down to Earth Network, late night live. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all that stuff. But yeah, these guys. Oh, I did have a story. Good thing I remembered, right? About the black ice agent who got called the N word. So it's like now it's the first time. Not saying there ain't no black ice agents, but it's the first time I seen a black. They showed a picture of like a black guy who's an ICE agent and how he was called the N word. So just see that message. What they're trying to put out there, like what are they stirring up? They're trying to stir up some type of shit, like, yo, you guys should be mad. Look how they're calling this ICE agent this racist thing. So you know who's at these protests. You know what they're gonna say? It's these white liberals, right? And those white liberals, they're not better than us. They're racist too, right? So really look on that. Really look on that. That's what's cooking. I had the story here somewhere. I wish I had it somewhere, but yeah, a black ICE agent was called the N word. I guarantee a lot of them get called something, but that's what they wanted to spotlight. A black ICE agent called the N word. That's gonna happen. That will happen. But why they're putting that out there, that this black ICE agent was called the N word, is to kind of distract people, like saying, wait a minute, man, look how these guys have a hard job, right? They have such a hard job. No, now let's get body cams and record these protesters. They're not innocent. That's what they're putting. These protesters are not innocent. That's what they're saying, that the protesters are not innocent. Look at this, how they call this black ICE agent an N word. Look at these people. They're disgusting. We need the ICE out there. That's what they're putting, that they need the ICE out there, especially with this new thing. It's going viral. It's going to go viral about the black ICE agent it is going viral, being called the N word. And then they have another story of a black captain, right? He was asked for his papers from the ICE guys, right? And after then, he sues them for 124 million. Look, I don't know who they're fooling, but this is, for example, how they brainwash people, right? Distract people. It's two stories I'm putting together. What's the big one? The one with the captain, who did the ICE was, they're asking for his papers, and then he sued them. And then they have the other one, the black ICE agent being called the N word. Just look on it. Let's look what those two stories are actually becoming viral. Those are the big ones. Everybody's gonna start reacting to the black uh, captain who was asked for his papers. So they're trying to say that's racist. So the racist ICE was bothering this this captain. They didn't know that, right? And then they're gonna put it that the racist protester was calling the ICE agent an N-word. I wonder if people are seeing this psychology. That's why I had to repeat it. Don't you see how they're playing with people? Just see how they're playing with people, man. They're playing with the people's psychology. Two sides. An important officer, captain, was disgraced. This is how I'm putting it, because of the ICE agents that wanted to, like, bully him. Let's see your papers and shit like that. So that's going viral. He wins all this money. I don't know if it's true, wins 100 million or 124 million because of this. And then now you're hearing this ICE agent being called a bad, like a bad word by a protester. They're putting out some messages, people. They're putting out some messages, people. They're trying to play with people's emotions a lot, right? And they're trying to suppress. What they're doing is suppressing the media, what's talking the truth, like how I am giving you it. They're going to suppress it, right? That's why some people got to dress it up a different way. They want to suppress it because look at what I just said. The Epstein files, big distraction. That's the biggest news. You're hearing Trump even respond to it, saying he was never friends with the Epstein, right? That's the biggest news. And now there's two racial stories I'm bringing up. The one with the ICE agents on the talking about the what's called the captain guy, right? And that's a big lawsuit. And now this agent being called the N word, that's a big thing. That's on video. You see, it's on video. So shall continue. It shall continue. The war is outside. No man can escape from. That's what Mobb Deep would say. There's a war outside no man can escape from. No, you cannot escape from it. It's a new age. It's a full new age right now. Right now they're filtering out the information, what's going out right now. The powers that be, right? They're doing all types of stuff to suppress. But we shall see. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow we're gonna be going live once again, right? It was an early one today, and it was the ICE agents. An early one. Been on from, let's see, 9. So yeah, people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. This is the Down to Earth podcast, the Down to Earth network with your host Sean Myrie. I'm out.